The station's lights flickered as the shuttle bay doors groaned shut behind me. My boots echoed against the polished deck, a sound I had come to associate with endings. Endings of missions, endings of tours, and, most painfully, endings of connections I never had the courage to hold on to. This time was supposed to be no different. I had packed my duffel, signed the last of the transfer orders, and told myself that walking away from her was the logical thing to do. Logic was my armor. But as the cold metal of the terminal stretched before me, I could feel the armor cracking. Her name was Kaylin. Not human, though she wore our language as fluently as any diplomat. A scientist from the Elorians, those luminous-skinned wanderers who had joined the coalition 2 decades ago. She was brilliant, infuriatingly stubborn, and perhaps the only person aboard the Andromeda who treated me as something more than just another soldier. We had laughed in the lab, shoulder to shoulder over tangled circuits. We had argued in the mess, her sharp wit clashing with my dry sarcasm until the table erupted in laughter. We had spent nights gazing out at starfields, her eyes reflecting galaxies I swore I'd never see again. And yet I was leaving. Orders were orders. The war at the rim had grown bloodier, and infantry officers like me were always in short supply. I shouldered my duffel tighter. One step forward, then another. The shuttle would depart in 10 minutes. That was enough time to leave without saying goodbye. Without seeing her. Without unraveling myself. Elias. Her voice stopped me. Froze mid-step. Slowly, as if turning would shatter the fragile resolve I clung to, I faced her. Kaylin stood at the end of the corridor. The station's sterile lights played across her iridescent skin, casting faint rainbows across the bulkheads. She wore her lab coat over the fitted uniform of her people, a blend of practicality and elegance. And her eyes, gods, her eyes, held me like gravity. "I thought you'd already gone," she said softly. "I was just about to." My voice came out rough, uneven. "Didn't want to bother you with goodbyes," she finished, tilting her head. "That would have been very human of you." I gave a weak laugh, but it faded quickly. Goodbyes are hard. So is silence. We stood there, a gulf of unspoken words stretching between us. I knew if I let the silence grow, I could walk away. It would be clean. It would be final. But then she took a step forward. And another. Until she was close enough that the faint luminescence of her skin brushed against me like moonlight. "Before you leave," she whispered, her voice trembling in a way I had never heard before. "May I ask you something?" My heart hammered so hard it almost drowned her words. "Anything," I managed. Her gaze locked onto mine, unflinching. "Why do you run from what you feel?" The question hit harder than any battlefield impact. I swallowed, my throat dry. "Kaylin, you laugh with me. You seek me out when the world weighs heavy. Your silence stretches toward me like a tether. And yet, when you are ordered away, you do not fight it. You slip into the void without a word. Why?" I wanted to answer. I wanted to tell her that every moment with her tore at me, that the thought of leaving felt like being hollowed out from within. But how could I say that when war called me like an executioner's drum? When the odds of my survival were as slim as starlight? "It wouldn't be fair," I said finally. My voice cracked. "Not to you." Her brow furrowed, the faint luminescent markings along her skin pulsing. "Fair. I'm a soldier, Kaylin. They send me where the fighting is worst. I don't get to choose. I don't get to stay. If I told you what I feel..." I forced myself to meet her gaze. "I'd be chaining you to a ghost." Silence followed. Heavy. Crushing. Then she reached out and pressed her palm against my chest. Right over my heart. Her touch was warm, alive, electric. "Do you think me so fragile?" she whispered. That I would break for loving someone who might be lost. I closed my eyes, fighting the burn behind them. Her hand over my heart felt like the only thing keeping it from shattering. I don't want to hurt you, I whispered. And I don't want you to go without knowing this, she replied. Her voice steadied, fierce and tender all at once. You are not a ghost to me. You are the only one who looks at me and sees more than the scientist, more than the alien. You see me. Do not take that away before it has even begun. My breath hitched. Every wall I had built, every excuse, every armor plate I had welded shut around my feelings. She was tearing through them with nothing but truth. I opened my eyes. And I saw her. Not the brilliant researcher. Not the alien envoy. Just Kaylin, standing before me, vulnerable, luminous, alive. I love you, I said. The words slipped free before I could stop them, before fear could cage them. They were raw and reckless and truer than anything I had ever spoken. Her lips parted, and her hand pressed harder against my chest. For a moment I thought she might laugh or recoil, or let silence swallow us both. Instead she whispered, "And I you." The world tilted. The station, the shuttle, the war. All of it faded until there was only her. My arms moved before I thought, pulling her against me. She fit there as if she had always belonged, her head against my shoulder, her light painting warmth across my skin. I don't know if I'll come back, I murmured into her hair. Then promise me this, she said, her voice muffled but steady. If you cannot return, you will not let the last thing you gave me be absence. Carry me with you. Let my voice be in your heart when fear comes. Let my name be the shield you raise. I pulled back just enough to look at her. That's not much of a promise. It is everything, she countered. We stood there, two fragile beings on the edge of something vast and terrifying. But for once, the unknown did not feel like a void. Felt like possibility. The loudspeaker crackled. Shuttle departing in 3 minutes. All passengers board immediately. Reality slammed back into place. Had to go. Orders were orders. Kaylin's fingers lingered against mine, reluctant to let go. Elias. I kissed her hand, quick and desperate. I'll come back. Somehow. You'd better, she said, though her voice trembled. And then, before I could unravel completely, I forced myself to step back. Turn. To walk away. But my heart no longer felt hollow. It felt full. Bursting. Because for the first time in years, I wasn't walking into battle alone. I carried her with me.